Welcome to Poetry and Perspective with Placide. As you can see, guys, I have my guest with me. Earlier on, I don't know what happened, but I've my guest is here, and I am happy. And things happen. So what can we say? What can we do? Things happen here. So I have the beautiful Yvette Hunter with me, and let me make sure that Yvette, let me make sure that we are live on Facebook, okay? And
Okay.
that my phone is good, sending me public because it will do whatever it wants with me. Sad to say, but Facebook is not giving me that option of okay, who am I seeing here? Or just doing my own thing.
Everything's so difficult.
I know. All right. There we go. We are live now. Okay. All right. Yes. Okay. So, darling, it is a pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much. I know we had a little hiccup, but thank you so much to have you. I could not just wait. I couldn't wait another week for me to hear your story. Shawana said that the story was riveting. So if you have, I'm hearing a lot of background noise. So if you have something else that is, I don't know if you have another device listening on, but I'm having a lot of background noise.
Is it you hear a lot of noise?
Yeah, I'm hearing background noise.
Mm, there's nothing on, and I got the TV on mute.
Okay, all right. Well, let's see what's happening. I can hear the background, but it's okay. All right, darling. So tell the audience a little bit about Yvette. Who is Yvette?
She's Wonder Woman.
Yes. Yes. So tell me a bit about yourself. Where you from? A little bit about your background, maybe your education and so forth. Tell us a bit about yourself.
Originally from Chicago,
Mm-hmm.
born and raised in Chicago. Graduated high school, moved to Mississippi in the South.
Mm-hmm.
Um, went to college down there and got a master's in criminal justice and joined the police department
Mm-hmm.
and became a police officer. I went back through the academy for narcotics and became a narcotics officer.
Awesome. Awesome. That's amazing. I love that. You know what? I wanted to be a police officer myself when I was growing up. That never happened. They call me one of those tough ones. So I wanted to be a police officer, but it didn't happen. And I love a man's job. I cannot sit at a desk all day. That's not gonna be me. Okay. Yes. So this month we are observing Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And I understand that you are an advocate for domestic violence and you have a very, very important story to tell and a message. Okay. So please start by telling us about what took you, what, how that situation happened where you became um, a victim of domestic violence.
It started early on in high school. Um, we were, I believe, 15 and 16 when we met. He was a freshman, I was a sophomore. It just started as, a teenage relationship that got kind of out of control. The signs was there. I just, I didn't pay any attention to it. And when I finally realized what was going on, it was too late. I was already sucked in.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I end up moving down south with him and his family.
Mm-hmm.
So, once I graduated high school before him, so I had a year, off to myself
Mm-hmm.
before I ended up going back to college.
Mm-hmm.
So once he graduated, we all moved to the south, and I just got a job and ended up going to school down there and finishing it and getting a career.
Mm-hmm.
But violence started a little here, but it got really rough once I moved away from all my family. And it was like I was in prison. It was 19 years together with three kids, and a good 16 years was abusive,
Mm.
very abusive.
Yeah. So, if it's not too much, could you tell us a little bit of the details of what happened.
Oh man. I've been throughout on the expressway out of a moving car. I've had my head busted in so many different places. Black eyes, too many to count. Um, I've had shotguns under my chin. I've been shot. I've been thrown in the trunk. Stomped, kicked, just whatever he felt like doing. Backhands, punching, whatever. Whatever he felt like doing. That's just what happened.
You said thrown out of a moving car.
Yes, on the expressway.
Okay, take me into that.
I was getting off work. He was picking me up. I think he was already a little frustrated because I was getting off a little late. This particular time I had got paid and I was admiring this jogging suit that I liked from Lady Foot Locker. It was baby blue and white, a fila jogging suit with the matching gym shoes. I had had it in layaway, I think, for like maybe almost 2 months, and I got it out and bought me something. He didn't like the fact that I liked it to look good. I liked to look pretty, and I guess he thought I was too flashy. So when I got in the car, he got what is this? Why are you buying this stuff? In other words, long story short, he got mad because I bought it. So he was trying to, throw my stuff out of the window as we was driving out the expressway on 55. I was trying to prevent him, and he pulled over on the expressway, and I just wanted to get out of the car, and I was just gonna just walk to the next exit and just get off and have somebody come and get me. But as I was trying to get out, he opened the door and just kicked me out and just drove off. And I kind of like scraped my back and my arm and everything as I hit the pavement. And then he stopped, came back, and picked me up and threw me in the car and drove off. Yep.
I'm getting cold. How did that moment feel for you?
It was scary because it was cars coming, and I could have been run over by several cars. But grace of God, I wasn't.
Oh my gosh.
Hmm.
I am literally like goosebumps are running all over my arms. I couldn't imagine being in a situation I'm thrown out of a car on the
Hmm.
highway.
Hmm.
Oh my
Yep.
goodness. So just the fact that you were able to have control over one thing, which was get something for yourself.
Yes, he didn't like that.
Wow.
He didn't like me to take care of myself at all. Just him. No self care for me at all. So I guess he didn't like me to get the attention. I don't know. It was just weird.
Did you what did you do after that instant? I hate to ask what I wanted to ask, but what did you do after that instance?
He ended up taking me home. I was saying I wanted to go to the hospital because I can feel from the pavement of the ground, and I can look over my shoulder and see that it's really red and pink, and then I can feel the blood running down my back and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So we went to his mother's house, and when I walked in and she, see what happened, she like, what happened? What happened? And I told her what happened. And he got in his car and drove off. So she ended up taking me to the hospital. And once we got to the emergency room, I told them what happened, and they pretty much knew it was a domestic situation.
Mm-hmm.
They, called the police, and of course, because of how they were talking and how the staff were talking in the hospital, I refused to talk. So I just left with his mother and ended up going back home.
Mm-hmm. So at that point, did you even think of getting out of that situation, or was it a situation that you just felt like you were trapped?
Trapped. I was trapped. I was, what, 900 and some miles away from home.
Mm-hmm. So,
Trapped.
wow. So he did that and he felt no remorse.
No, not at all. Not at all.
So, what happened the next instance? Did he just behave like it was normal, like,
I mean, he
You
just
never.
came home like it was nothing, and like it never happened. And who am I to say something? I better not say anything about it. So I just carried on as if it didn't happen.
So take me now. You've gone. You've been thrown out of the car. You've been. I'm assuming you've been punched. You've been black eyed, right?
Hmm.
Tell me, what was that incident you talked about being shot? Tell me about that. Tell the viewers about that incident.
That was after the relationship was over with when I finally had the strength to leave. We had been apart, I think, almost 6 months before the shooting incident happened. He had
Mm-hmm.
already moved on with someone else. I think he had already moved in with the lady and everything else, but for some reason he still didn't want me to be happy or me to move on with anyone else. So he still tried to control me, my life, and what I did, even though we wasn't even together.
Mm-hmm.
So once he found out that I was out with someone else, having a good time, enjoying myself, I guess the fact that he didn't like that, the shooting happened. Which I couldn't understand if you were already in a relationship with someone else. What's the purpose of come back trying to hurt me? That doesn't make that it just doesn't make sense.
You know, there's a saying, you don't want you, but you don't want nobody else to have you.
Yeah, that's a true statement. Definitely a true statement.
So where did that shooting occur? Tell me. I want to. I don't. If it's not. If it's too much. If it's too much for you, don't talk about it.
You talking
But
about the shooting?
yes,
Oh man, the car looked like Swiss cheese.
was that?
The car looked like Swiss cheese. It had so many bullet holes in it.
Oh, so you were in a car.
He shot the car up with me in it. Yeah. It's just that me being so small, I think during this time, I was maybe 106 pounds, and I just folded up in the bottom of the car, like Chinese style, and just put my head, to my knees and just held myself real still. And you could just hear the bullets like, pew, pew, just, they just going past me. And it, my hair and everything. And I just made sure I was real still. The one that hit my hip, I felt it, but I just still didn't move. I just still remained still until the shooting stopped. Once the shooting stopped, I looked up to see that he was reloading and drove off.
Oh my goodness.
And once I look in the rearview mirrors, once he loaded the guns back up, he was shooting at the back of the car.
Oh my gosh.
Hmm.
I've seen those movies, and I'm looking. I'm looking at you like I'm seeing those movies where they're shooting all those. Yvette.
Yeah, but that's just the first incident. I'm a survivor twice. I survived it twice.
So this person, you ready? You spent so many years. Did you have kids with this person? And
So I get out of that relationship. That's done. I send him to prison. Then I meet someone else, and that turns out to be a domestic relationship also, where I was beaten in the head with a baseball bat and strangled.
Yvette.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay. How did you find the courage to get out of that situation? The first one.
The first one, it took me almost 2 years to plot to get out of that. It took me almost 2 years because, I had kids, so regardless of the relationship we had, he was a father to his kids.
Mm-hmm.
But the only sad part is the fact that when he decided to put his hands on me, he always did it in front of the kids. So you're not really
Oh.
teaching them anything if you're going to teach them to be violent. And
Oh.
we have two boys, and it's not good for you to hit a woman in front of, and you got two boys, you have two sons.
Because you're teaching them to do the same thing.
Exactly, exactly. So, it, he was just difficult. I couldn't understand where he got that kind of trait from in the first place because even as teenagers, being around his parents, his mother and his father, I never seen it from either one of them. So I couldn't understand where did that hatred, that evilness, that meanness, the bullying, where did it come from?
Mm.
So
Sometimes our kids pick up things outside and we don't know. But that is no reason for him to put his hands on you.
absolutely, absolutely. It's plenty of times he could have walked away at any time.
Yes, it takes a strong man to walk away from when they don't like the situation.
Exactly. He had plenty of times. I used to ask him to leave, and he said me no. He's not going anywhere. And I'm like, why? You have all these different women. You're doing whatever you want to do. What's the point of being here to torture me?
Mm-hmm.
You
So
know,
how
and
did that situation affect the kids?
it did. They had counseling and everything. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Now, what effect did that first situation have on you? Did it make you less trusting of men, of other people? What effect did that situation have on you?
It definitely sheltered me because it's dating, I guess, was something difficult because we were so young and me
Mm-hmm.
being at one person so long.
Mm-hmm.
After that, I just really focused on my career and school and my kids.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't really even look into dating like that until after
Mm-hmm.
I had to find out who I am and what I really wanted because now I was free. I wasn't living under his control. So what's
Mm-hmm.
it that I want? You
Okay.
know, what is life really about now without him? So I had to figure that out.
Yes. Yes.
So I
Yes.
went back to school and I got my master's in criminal justice. I joined the police department and, I focus on my kids.
Wonderful. Let me say hello to our guests, to our viewers. We have Fenton Emmanuel. Good night. NL Downs is watching. Rodelphia Johnny and Anneli Combs. I don't know if you have anybody on your end watching this. I can't see who they are. But now that's you had your moment of grief. You had your period of grief from that situation. Now I'm sure it must have had some emotional effects on you. Okay.
Mhm.
What you went to school and then you found yourself in another relationship.
Yes, as an officer.
So that abuse, how was it different from the other one?
This one wasn't really, I wouldn't say it was abuse because this one, I knew the signs now. I knew what to look for.
Mm-hmm.
And I caught the sign.
Mm.
And when I caught the signs, it was time to separate myself from that situation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, this is not working. I've seen this before. This is deja vu.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna go through another relationship with someone that's jealous and acting crazy for no reason and
Mm-hmm.
stalking. I think you should leave. And
Mm-hmm.
the fact that he see that he had lost control and that I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't going for that, he didn't want to leave. And I'm like, okay, you have to go. This is over. I can't deal with this. I have a job, I have to work, and I have children I'm trying to support. I don't need a grown man child. So, he didn't
Mm-hmm.
want to end the relationship. So once I turned my back, from the door, he threw a blanket over my head, threw me on the bed, and just started strangling me. And he had his hands over my mouth, to keep me from, screaming. The only thing I could do is just, kick the dresser, really hard to try to get some attention. My
Mm-hmm.
kids heard it. My daughter and my son heard the commotion, and they kicked the
Mm-hmm.
door down. And they came in, and we all just jumped them and just beat the crap out of them.
Good. Sorry, I don't content violence, but good.
But
Oh my goodness.
at the same time, it was hard for me to breathe, and was trying to catch my breath. So my kids chased him out the back door. We assumed he ran down the alley. He was
Mm-hmm.
gone.
Mm-hmm.
So my daughter calls the police. The police supposed to be around on their way. Um, by this time, I had my grandkids, and my grandson said, "Grandma, come and get the baby. The baby is gonna fall." And I'm like, "Okay." Let me
Mhm.
go downstairs to, to get the baby. I can
Mhm.
just remember going downstairs, and I think I had maybe 2 or 3 steps to go
Mhm.
back upstairs, and I just felt the impact to my head.
Mhm.
I can remember doing my head like this because it kind of felt like my head was swelling really big.
Mhm.
I remember spinning around and everything went black.
Oh
I,
my goodness.
I can hear everybody. I hear screaming, yelling. I can hear a lot of commotion over my head, but I can't see nothing. I'm blinking my eyes, but I still can't see. So I can't move. I can't lift my head. I can't talk. I just hear a lot of screaming and yelling. Um, I can tell when the police came. I can hear the EMTs and everything because I hear the radios. I can hear them telling me to blink my eyes, so I know my eyes are open. But again, I just can't see, but I can just hear everything what's going on. I can hear one of the officers say, "Oh my God, who's an officer? Who's the police? Who's the police?" My daughter's like, my mom, she's the police from Mississippi, and it was like, okay, we have an officer down, from another state. So I could just remember a lot of police stuff going on. I can remember them asking me, "Do I know what year it is? Who's the president?" I can remember them saying possible skull fractures. It was just so much stuff being said at one time. And again, I blanked out. Wake up again. I just know that got bandages all over my head. Kind of strapped to the bed. I guess I was kind of fighting or whatever. I don't know what was going on. I just woke up and I was just strapped to the bed with bandages over my head and over my face and my eyes. So of course my face didn't look the same. It was real swelled up everywhere because I was hitting the face with a bat. Both of my eyes was closing shut. Um, there was blood vessels just everywhere. I lost my hearing. My eye, it was sight loss in my eye. I couldn't feel certain parts of my head, my face. My nose was broken. It was chaos. So what happened was he snuck back in, and when I walked down the stairs to get the baby, he hit me in the face with a bat over this side of my face. So the impact that I felt was him hitting me in the face. I didn't feel no pain. I
Mhm.
just felt an impact.
Yes, yes.
And I just felt like my head was swelling and everything went black. My son came downstairs right after I went downstairs. My son witnessed the hit.
Oh my God.
And if it wasn't for my son, he was about to hit me in the head again, and
Yeah.
my son jumped on him.
He would have cracked your skull.
Yes. My skull was cracked, but he would have cracked it more because it was cracked from here all the way down here, and all of the skin and everything. The skull was exposed,
Oh my goodness.
and I'm still here, blessed. But I do have, as you can look, I have permanently black eyes.
Yes,
Hmm. And if you can kind of look here, you can see a scar.
I do.
Hmm. Yep.
Hold on, let me put you on the camera for a little bit by yourself for you to show this to the audience.
Hmm.
Let us see it again.
Okay. I have my all these broken blood vessels here. These are my permanently black eyes from being hit in the face with the bat. And this is the bruise here from the skull fracture. So all of this was swollen big. All of this was like another head. I lost my hearing in this ear. So right now I'm paralyzed from here to back to the middle of my head. There's no feeling here at all. I had eye surgery because the broken blood vessels in the eye caused the eye to drift off. So I had surgery to fix the eye, and I gained a lot of the sight back. I had sinus surgery, and the nose was broken, so the nose was fixed. And And I think that is it. So, of course, I have seizures. For me being hit with the bat. I take Lyrica because of the paralyzation in the face and the constant headaches that I get. That's uncontrollable. Yep, and it causes bad sinus infections and everything. So I'm on current medication that I have to take for life. But I'm blessed. I'm not complaining. I'm still. So I have a purpose of living.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Whenever you can talk about your story and it doesn't bother you and you don't cry, that means you are so over it. You forgave and you've moved on. And that's just what you have. You forgive and you move on. I'm still here and I'm still blessed. I still have all my senses. I'm still smart. Still do what I do as an officer. I help other women, men, children, whoever I can.
You're a woman just like me.
Absolutely.
You're a mother. And
Absolutely.
I can't imagine what you went through at that moment.
Oh, it was it was difficult. And to see my daughter watch me go through that, for my children to watch me go through that two times, two times, difficult. But I made sure I got them a lot of counseling where, especially my daughter, where you don't have to do that's love.
I'm
That
sorry, I don't have no tissue. I'm just like
hmm
the tears are just fun because I just I can't I just I can't imagine you going through this. You and I'm looking at you. You are so tiny.
yes, very.
My viewers, excuse me. I'm just this one is really difficult for me. Really difficult.
Me and Yolanda Carter's story is almost the same.
Yes, yes. She
That's
had me
why
crying on that show too.
that, that's why we created such a bond because her incident with the hammer is almost the same. Both of
Yes.
us with our eye. It's just that I didn't lose my whole eye, but I still lost sight. Where
Mm,
my this lens is a bifocal because
okay.
of, the strength has
Yeah.
to be so strong so I can see.
Yes.
You know, so I just do it with fashion. That's all.
Yes. And I love the part. You are so inspiring because I'm here crying and I know that you right now you got to the point where you over it, but for people to hear this story, you were an
It
officer in the law and this happened to you.
absolutely, and that's what makes it really tough because you're on both sides. You
Yes.
and as an officer, you go into calls
Mm-hmm.
and you go into domestic situations, and you have this mask on while you're at work because you have to do your job and you have to still remain professional and you can't take anything personal and you can't
Mm-hmm.
take anything home and you can't take your personal business to work.
Mm-hmm.
So you portraying to be this person at work versus once you hit that clock and you're going home and it's something different.
Yes. Um,
So it was rough. But my kids helped me through a whole lot. I didn't have anybody. I had my kids.
these are your blessings. Your
Hmm.
blessings. Let me tell you one of my viewers what she said. She's a very spiritual woman. Okay. She's one of my inspirational women that drive me. Okay, she motivates. She said her name is Nadine Joseph Corn. She says, so sad. Thanks for being so brave to share your story. We praise God that you are alive. All praises to the Most High God. And she also said, Amen, Amen. You have a purpose for living, and truly you are blessed. You are so powerful. You are strong, so brave.
Oh, thank
And I
you.
share that so strongly as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
I never want the guests to tell me their stories,
Mm,
everything. I just want to know that this is what this you were survivor of this, or you going through this. I want them to hear with me, the same time with me. Before, when I started this show, I was asking for a bio. I don't want it anymore. Why? I just want the person to come here, be themselves, and tell their story to me while they're saying to the viewers. Okay. And
mhm,
so I find their story is so impactful.
mhm.
You are so calm, your demeanor is so calm, and you've gotten to the point. I know I can see some pain in your face while you were saying it, but at the same time, you have gotten to the point where you are a warrior.
Oh yes, yes. I hold that title. I keep that title. I'm a manifesting that title because that's just what I am.
And let me tell you, you one of my on my show, I call my brave women my warrior queens.
That's
Yeah.
just I'm gonna take that with me, and being able to help other women and
Mhm.
just every time I tell my story, even if I can be talking to 100 women, if I get two of them, I'm good with that
Yes.
because that's two people lives that I've saved,
Say,
and the more I talk, the more I talk, and the more you see me, and the more you see me, and I tell people all the time, remember my face and remember my name because I'm not done.
exactly.
I say that all the time. I got so much more to give, so much more. I
Mm-hmm.
got so much more to do,
Mm-hmm.
so whenever you want me and you want to have me and I'm here.
Yes, darling. I was waiting to hear. I was waiting to hear your interview. I was waiting. I didn't know too much about what you said. I knew nothing actually. To be
Hmm.
honest with you, I was afraid to read your bio, so it would say something. I did not read your bio. I just know that
Did
this
I
is
read it?
no, because
Oh,
I didn't want to know anything about what you're gonna tell me before you tell me on this show. Okay,
mhm.
and so I'm gonna read it when I'm done. When
And
I'm done,
also, you can Google me.
uh-huh.
I've also did like other did TV interviews with Channel 9, Channel 7, Channel 5. Um, at my job, they honored me and everything, and they called me Wonder Woman of Domestic Violence. That's my name.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder Woman of Domestic Violence. So if you was to Google Yvette Jones or Yvette Hunter, you'll
Mm-hmm.
see me pop up. So
Yeah,
it tells you pretty much everything what I've done so far.
amazing, amazing, amazing. Oh my gosh, you are such an inspiration. You are brave. You are strong. You are. I cannot say. When I think of your story, and I think of Yolanda's story, who was
Mm-hmm.
for hammer, you were hit with a baseball bat. It's almost like you also were shot at.
Mm-hmm.
Because Shawana was shot and left for dead.
Exactly. 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 That's why we all click so much. It's like
Yes,
our stories is like it's so connected, with all of us. It's just so connected.
I went through domestic violence, but not half of what you ladies went through,
Yeah.
and it was traumatic for me.
Yes.
So I could imagine going through that.
Can you imagine? Like, I've seen people take a blow to the head and not hear anymore. And that kind of force to the frontal of my head. And the bat was in four pieces. Four pieces. And I'm still here.
Praises to Jehovah, praises to God.
I'm still here. I still have all my senses. I'm still beautiful. I'm still here. I'm still here to tell my story. This is why I tell my story because he got me here to tell my story. This is my purpose of living. So I'm serious about what I do and I love what I do. My
I
passion.
today I had earlier today, I had a show with a grief counselor. Okay,
Mm.
her name was Jamila Silis, and we were talking. She's a nurse, and she was also in the army in London, and we were saying on the show that she said even if she went to war, and she's an army officer and she's a nurse, but still when she went through her grief, okay, when she lost her mom and her sister, it was so devastating for her. Okay,
Oh
and
yeah,
yes, and then she said we grieve as well, and I had to stop her and I tell her, listen to me, police officers, I'm going to say something, police officers, firefighters, um, um, soldiers, we are all human.
we have the same problems. We go through the same thing like anybody. We're not invincible.
No,
We're not. We have the same issues. You believe it or not, you'll be surprised how many law enforcement go through domestic violence.
I thought of that.
Let me tell you something. There are more police officers who beat the crap out of their wives, and they get away with it because they're protected by the code. So, I mean, it's just that's why we fight hard for to change
Mm-hmm.
the laws of domestic violence. It needs to be changed. It needs to be revised. They need to think about these women that's out here losing their lives. All these young teenagers, like, when is it a good time to talk to teenagers about domestic violence? Mine started when I was a teenager.
Yes.
I had nobody to talk to me about it. I had no idea I was being sucked in control like that.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the proper age to talk to kids? Because it starts in elementary school. I see
Yes, it
boys
does.
hitting on little girls, and you have parents teaching them, "Oh, he just like you." No, that's not cool. You stop him from hitting her.
Mm-hmm.
That does not mean he has a crush on her. No, he's bullying her. We
Mm-hmm.
as parents have to stop telling our kids that.
Yes.
Stop telling our little girls, "Oh, he's just doing that because he like you." No, teach them what's
That's
right.
the early stages of bullying, from a very early age.
That's how it starts. That's how it starts. Yes. So my job, if I have to go to every elementary school, if I have to go to every high school, every college, I'll talk about mental illness, suicide, all of that connects.
It does. It
All of
does.
that connects. Rape, all of that connects.
It does. I am a victim of rape,
Yeah, all of that is.
childhood rape, and adulthood rape.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a victim of suicide because I tried to take my life about 5 to 6 times because of being in these situations.
Mm-hmm. It
You
eats away
know?
at you, and then especially when no one listens to you and no one wants to understand. No one understands.
I
So it's like
remember,
you're living in the world by yourself if you don't have the right ear, you know what I'm saying, for someone to listen to you. So it's
I,
real difficult. It's a world that I would never want to go back to, ever.
nobody wants needs to be living in that world. I
Mm-mm.
remember when I was getting molested by my uncle, and I told my family, they didn't want to believe me.
It's always denial. It's always denial. But that's why I'm here. It's gonna stop.
Honey, we have got to band together, whatever state that we are in. We got
Mhm.
to band together and form this coalition where we are going to go from state to state for us to be able to talk about these issues. Like you
Absolutely.
said, they are connected, and I am ready.
Absolutely.
I'm ready.
We're gonna take it. That's what we're here for. And that's why we all stick together the way we do. We're gonna
Yes.
make changes around here. It has to be. We have too many people losing their lives over
And
this.
we know we're not going to be able to save uh,
A lot of
everybody,
right, but
but
we're
the
gonna
little
be
that we can help,
mm-hmm.
oh my gosh, you are a living testament of survival.
Absolutely. Yep.
Thank you for sharing your story.
Oh, thank you for having me.
And I know you have your family to take care of your cooking dinner. I'm sorry. But I am so glad that I piggybacked and I said, no, we're going to have it tonight. Okay.
No problem. No problem at all. And my
Yvette, I just
phone's about to die.
yes, dear. So I want to say thank you so much for being on Poetry and Perspective with Placide. If you ever want to come and talk and have a webinar and whatever, you can use my platform. I love you, girl.
Well, thank you.
Yes, let's stay in touch, okay?
Absolutely.
Have an awesome, awesome night and thank you.
You too as
Stay
well.
strong. Okay, good
Bye.
night. Guys, you just heard it. I could not even fathom being in that situation, having my children to watch this, what she went through, but she is strong. She's a warrior. And I want you to understand, and I said it earlier, no one, no woman, no man, no child needs to be in a domestic violence relationship in an atmosphere your life is going to be, your life is going to be at stake. Get out. Get out of that situation. It will start little and will accumulate until the end result will be your life. So please, guys, this is Poetry and Perspective with Plastic. The entire month of August, sorry, why am I thinking of August? The entire month of October, there are so many awarenesses, but we're gonna focus on breast cancer, pregnancy and child loss, dwarfism, and domestic violence. We need to keep these conversations going because it could be your sister, it could be your friend, it could be your mother, it could be your wife, it could be anybody you know is going through this. It could be a brother. Please find the courage to speak up. Your voice can help somebody else. It is 10:01. Thank you so much for being on Poetry and Perspective with Plastic. That is my reminder tonight. I am tired, guys. So I am going to say good night. Have an amazing, amazing weekend. Stay safe, stay prayerful, and let your voice be heard. And you have my platform if you want to speak your voice. Okay, just call me, text me, send me a message on Messenger. Okay, let me know what you want to talk about, what your issue is, and I will, I will accommodate you. Okay, I will have you on my show. Have a good night. Stay strong. Thank you. Until next time. Good night.